It's Friday night, and I feel so right. You too. What it do, man? It's your boy Benji, and we are back with another one, man. There's plenty of things that I could have been doing on a Friday, but why not watch Friday Night Smackdown and talk about the things that happen with y'all? There's plenty of things that are going on right now, right? I just started The Boys' newest season, so I'm excited. Don't spoil it. I'm dropping my reactions on Patreon. Probably going to post some edited stuff for y'all up here. But let's talk about what happened on Friday. I don't think the WWE's really listening to us too much. I will salute them, though. They are supposedly trying to cut down on a lot of the commercials that we've been seeing that kind of ruin the viewing experience. But, dude, they just time and time again will show us the wrestlers arriving to the show. Like, I'm not too mad at it, but in some sense, it just kind of like kills a good like 5-ish to 10 minutes of the beginning of the show. Because we're just seeing people show up. There was a cool shot though of Trick Williams in the middle of the South Carolina football stadium. I thought that was pretty dope. And supposedly there's supposed to be a match with Damian Priest and R-Truth versus MFT. The Truth is injured. A lot of these guys are getting hurt, man. I'm gonna talk about it later. But these matches are getting pretty rough. Let's talk about what happened in the show, segment by segment and piece by piece. My favorite segment was Trick Williams coming out to a hometown crowd, the hometown love out there in South Kakalaki, bro. And people were feeling that boy. This really brought me back to the days where I really enjoyed wrestling as a kid. You could feel some of the emotion. You could feel the people tuned in. And look, Trick came out there and got in his bag, bro. I also had to shout out Yachty. He has been locked in, bro. Mania was over a month ago. He's been really adding extra sauce to Trick's aura. And he really doesn't have to be here. I'm sure he's getting paid a hefty check, though. There's been a lot of people that have been let off that roster. And Yachty ain't doing this for the free. Y'all think he's doing it for free? Trick talked about the origin of the lemon pepper steppers when he spilled wing sauce while eating at a local restaurant. The come up that he had at a nearby high school that led him to playing for the South Carolina Gamecocks. He also had to shout out his mom in the crowd, who had always let him know he was going to be a star. The Miz and Kit Wilson then showed up, and The Miz questioned all of the random mascots that Trick has shown up with. He said the WWE started to look like Sesame Street. And look, I gotta remember, The Miz said that, not me. Kit Willie had to explain how he felt about Trick, and the only way for him to do it was with some slam poetry. He called the nasty folks in the town and their mascot toxic. And then a pro had to take the mic. Yachty had to hit him with a little poetry of his own. He was saying some cool things like, on your tombstone, it'll read assistant to Miz. I really don't know who you is. And then he was like, y'all ain't as handsome as we is. That's the reason y'all sick. We're going to have to show Columbia how to whoop that Trick. I'm a diamond platinum selling artist. I've done it all. And you're mad that we came out with cocky because you have tiny balls. A lot of people were there for the tiny ball stuff with Miz, bro. So this is a good callback. It was pretty funny. Kit Wilson is freaking hilarious. He's screaming. He's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. They're massive. Trick backhanded Kit Wilson, Kit Willie, and then tossed the Miz out of the ring after the Miz challenged him to a match. These two ended up getting it down. The match itself was pretty solid. Miz does surprise me, bro. I gotta admit. Like, dude, he moved really well in this match. He was a lot more smoother and believable than Trick was in the ring. Of course, the Miz is still able to bleed his character into the match. Like, he's shouting things like, good night, when he's going for the skull-crushing finale. When he actually landed the move, Trick kicked out. At first, I didn't really like it, but then I saw where they were going because this led Miz to going for a desperate measure. He ended up grabbing the kendo stick, bro. Yachty ended up snatching it away from him and used it to bit down Kit Wilson, Kit Willie. In the midst of the mayhem, Trick Williams ended up landing a trick shot and won the match. What a way to show out in front of your hometown crowd. I think. Shout out to The Miz. The man, the myth, the legend, CARMELO Hayes is back, and he wants his shot at the U.S. Championship. That's a belt that he believes that Trick and SAMI have made a mockery of. Okay. Ricky Saints then shows up and interrupts the interview. I actually like what WWE did here. I mentioned that Ricky has been showing up and things kind of look like a rinse, wash, and repeat of what happened when CARMELO Hayes debuted. Melo even pointed it out, saying that Ricky Saints is looking at himself in the mirror. He says that SmackDown has a way of humbling folks, and it definitely humbled him when he got to the main roster. Of course, this led to a little bit of trash talk, and the two ended up agreeing to a match later on tonight. I do want to let y'all know, at this point in the episode, I was still kind of on a high. I said, you know what, this might be, you know what I'm saying, a solid episode of Smackdown. We then had another segment backstage where Sami Zayn is basically losing his mind. He swears, though, that everybody else is switching up on him. He confronted Nick Aldis, the SmackDown general manager, and admitted to some of the backhanded things that he did in his match versus Trick Williams at Backlash, and mentioned that he wants to do things the right way and asked this dude for another rematch. I'm going to mention, it's actually not a bad decision to ask for a rematch, but obviously, Sami is not paying attention. The people that get matches on these shows are the ones that just show up and crash segments. Next, we got Paige and Brie Bella versus Giulia and Kiana James. Now, I'm going to tell you guys one thing. Kiana has grown on me, but the rest of this was just not it for me. This match looked like a bunch of people marching to different drums. Things ended after Giulia took a nasty spill outside of the ring with Paige. She got dropped on her head bad. Eventually, Paige ran back into the ring and was able to hit a nasty little DT on Kiana and get the W. But I don't know, man. Things getting kind of wild. I feel like it's almost every women's match that we see somebody nearly losing their life. At the very least, it's starting to become a little bit too common. At least after the match, Giulia actually looked like she was able to stand on her 2 feet and seemed to be all right. I guess there's trouble in paradise, but I'm not really understanding what's going on here. I mean, with Kiana at her side, Giulia did win the U.S. Championship, and she did actually retain it. Maybe the writing on the wall is just that you guys are not good as a tag team. I don't think that this means that they should just break up and no longer be associates. Isn't Kiana trying to be like a liaison to the talent? Oh my gosh, dude. Bro, somebody said that 2KO is getting so cheap that they have wrestlers doing stage setup. Cody set up the entire gig for the contract signing segment. Table, chairs, everything. Oh my god. But at this point, I started to get a little ticked. Because I was like, what is the point of this episode? What is the driving force that we're supposed to get behind while we're watching this show? We see over there on Raw, Roman and Jacob's confrontation is something that we're at least building toward, right? You would think that whatever the champions are doing are going to be the driving forces of your show. And going to be some of the biggest storyline pieces. So if we're going to be threading this storyline throughout the show, you would think it has to be interesting. People were at least interested in Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu, facing off, even though, respectfully, we knew what was going to happen. Cody, of course, opens the segment with telling the crowd what do they want to talk about. And then immediately goes to telling them that Gunther's going to sign the contract right now. And so we wait for Gunther's music to hit. Dude, these two are goofs. Gunther's asking Cody to say please in order to get him to sign the contract. And Cody actually obliges. The segment then drags on with Gunther begging him for more ways to say please. What is this? Didn't this guy ask Paul Heyman for a favor to get into this match? Didn't you show up on SmackDown multiple times, attack Cody Rhodes, just so you could get this match? Why are you playing this game? And then Royce Keys shows up and he tells Gunther, if you won't sign it, I will. Nick Aldis assigns Royce Keys a match versus Gunther to determine a challenger. But this is what I've been telling y'all. If you crash a segment, you will get a title shot. You will get a match. You'll get whatever you want. We also had the TONGA versus Damian Priest match. And look, respectfully, I understand botches happen. But is this company just too big to have every match not go through smoothly? Like, these dudes are pros, man. What I'm talking about is there was a moment in the match where Damian Priest kind of slipped on the top rope, but he and Tama transitioned really smoothly into the next spot before eventually the South of Heavens ended up winning Damian Priest the match. But of course, Solo and Big Tala attacked Priest after the match. The next segment was Sami Zayn backstage venting to Johnny Gargano. The planking Johnny Gargano. I don't understand what is the purpose of this Johnny thing. They are wasting our TV time. I understand there's supposed to be an angle here that since Sami has been talking to Johnny Gargano, it's started to incite a little bit of movement in this dude whenever he mentions bringing back wrestling or focusing more on wrestling. I guess we're going to be bringing back Johnny Wrestling. Dude, didn't this dude already say he was going to bring this back a long time ago? Didn't he already go on NXT and bring back Johnny Wrestling? But I guess Johnny Wrestling is not canon and we're supposed to act like that never happened. Carmelo Hayes versus Ricky Saints. This is a match on paper I thought it was going to be a lot better than what it was. We had Melo kicking out of Ricky's finisher on a random Smackdown. I don't know if that really does Ricky well, but I guess it's just something to become I guess, normalized to at this point. These two don't really look believable for a good portion of this match. It's like they're just walking around and, again, like walking into their spots. Like just waiting for the next spot to happen. It's not like they're really in a fight. That is not presented to me as a viewer at all. In the ending of the match, Ricky Saints tries to roll up Melo. He puts his foot on the ropes in order to gain himself a little bit of leverage. The referee catches this though. He explodes on the ref because he feels like the ref is sliding him. And in the midst of all that, Melo rolls him up and then puts his feet on the rope in order to gain leverage and win the match. The good guy does bad guy stuff. I don't think anybody really cared about this match. And not to like knock these guys individually. It's just like, what is the angle going on here? Again, if we do the good guy does the bad guy thing, then at a certain point it either makes the bad guy thing not look like a bad guy thing, and it makes the good guy thing not really seem like a big deal. Because it's not like he's doing anything bad. Also, these guys suck in kayfabe. So, I mean, it's literally like trash versus trash. Next. But finally, Jade Cargill is back, man. And look, she looks like $1 million. She gets on the mic because obviously this is a moment that we've been waiting for, and we have to hear what Jade has to say. She says, "Pressure burst pipes. The WWE Championship is coming home with me. Y'all know why. Because I'm that." And then she's interrupted by Charlotte Flair. This is billed as Jade Cargill's return, and it's supposed to be a big portion of the show because this is what we've been looking forward to. What is she going to say after she lost to Rhea? She's been talking all that talk, and she took an L. What is the angle? What is her different approach? Nothing new. She just wants to go fight for the title, and she'll be champion again. Charlotte tells Jade that she's done hearing her talk. Jade calls her and Alexa backup dancers to Rhea. So I guess that Jade is looking past them. She doesn't see them as formidable opponents at this point, and she's only focused on the championship and Rhea. Quick question. Where is Rhea? Y'all be getting on a lot of the champions that don't show up and don't have meaningful segments, but y'all let Rhea slide with everything. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, she's thrown in the midst of 100 different feuds, so she has something to do as a champion, but she's individually not doing anything with the championship, nor really building herself as a character. I don't understand why they don't book the rest of the champions like that. They had Jade just there doing nothing. They had Stephanie Bakir just there doing nothing, and then she would disappear off TV. They had Giulia showing up and then disappearing off TV. Anyways, Charlotte told Jade to take notes in this tag team match that they're about to have. I will say the match is actually pretty solid, and Mi Chin is really believable as a bad guy. I do like when B-Fab gets to trash talking. Additionally, we even saw Charlotte join in on the trash talk during the momentum shifts, telling Jade to suck it and calling her a bunch of explicitives that led to Mi Chin and B-Fab coming back. Eventually, Jade cost the team Alexa the match and got her girls disqualified along the way. The ending to the segment was a little bit strange though. Jade stood on the edge of the ring as if she was challenging Charlotte to a beatdown. Charlotte then told Jade, "Let's go," began walking toward her, and then rolled out of the ring to Alexa Bliss, and then told Jade to back off. And then the camera just faded. Such a weird ending to a segment. What can I say? I like Fatal Influence. They were backstage watching the match and told Kathy about all the fakeness in the locker room and assured her that it would not be long before Fatal Influence was dripped in gold. We finally got to the main event. Gunther versus Royce Keys. Before this match, Solo told Royce Keys that he can help him win gold. Royce told Solo, "I got this." Solo then backed off before telling Royce Keys that Jacob Fatu told him the same thing. I don't know if they're doing a Solo versus Royce Keys thing, but somebody's gonna get stuck in this enmity bloodline, one way or the other. The beginning of this match was basically Gunther trying to squirm away before Royce Keys could gain an advantage. He eventually ended up landing a few chops before these two ended up spilling outside the ring. And Royce started tossing Gunther into steel steps, the barricades, and over the announcer table. Again, I think that really made me upset watching this match, bro. These two, specifically Gunther, were not sneaky. They were blatantly calling out spots. It actually really annoyed me because it was blatantly obvious, like spot after spot. They with no shame just kept calling it out, not hiding their face or nothing like that. The ref was counting down and all. We got 8 seconds before the show's back on. Hey guys, give us 1 more minute. I didn't like this, man. And maybe it's because I was watching with my headphones on. Maybe I was just watching and, I don't know, washing the dishes. I wouldn't have caught this stuff, but it was so blatantly obvious, dude. Also, I want to mention, Gunther's Titantron says career killer now. Like, let's think about it for a second. Goldberg won like 300 matches in a row in the 90s. He came to the WWE, whooped on folks. Came back again, whooped on folks. Years after his last appearance, Gunther called Goldberg out for one last match. We knew this was going to be a one-off, but I guess technically it was a title match. So Goldberg could have kept wrestling had he won. But the match versus Cena. Gunther entered a tournament that would allow for the winner to face Cena in his last scheduled match. Technically, anyone could have won and faced Cena. Could have been calling Carmelo Hayes or Tozawa or Bronson Reed the career killer. Now, AJ Styles, he ended that career. I ain't gonna lie about that, but I don't understand how you became a career killer and like you technically only beat a couple of guys. You aren't able to fight the actual talent that is at the top of the cards and actually beat them. Of course, Solo showed up ringside to cheer this guy on. Eventually, Royce started to gain momentum, and Solo ended up running under the ring to grab a chair. The ref was downed, and Gunther was downed. Royce was already preparing for his finisher. He was already powering up, screaming. I don't know why Solo threw the chair in there. Did he need the chair? Did he not believe in Royce Key's finisher? Royce Keys got too busy dealing with Solo, which ended up leading to him eating a clothesline and powerbomb L. Gunther started screaming in the camera, then Cody Rhodes snuck him, while the commentary team said Gunther will be in his home turf at Clash in Italy. Do we ever say that Cody Rhodes is in his home turf because we're in the United States? The show then went black. I don't know how to feel, bro, because it's like this isn't as bad as some of the episodes have been. All in all, a lot of the segments in the show just seem like filler. I did enjoy the Trick Williams joint. Like, why is Chelsea Green trying to suddenly become a tag team with Tacky Tiffy? She's been calling her Tacky Tiffy, Tacky Time, for years. Why are they forcing the United States champion into a tag team? Why can a tag team match never end cleanly? What are all the tag teams doing on this show? Why did I get a segment of Nick Aldis telling Ray Phoenix to go down to AAA? So here's the thing. That doesn't make any sense to me. Carmelo Hayes is like the only person on this roster that wants the United States Championship. Like, a lot of the guys that showed up in the open challenges don't seem to actually care for the title. They just showed up for the open challenge itself. Why don't the Fatal Influence want the United States Championship? Why do they only want the one that Rhea has? Why did Jay come on the show to address Rhea, and yet Charlotte Flair came out? It's almost like pointless and you watching it week to week because the stuff that happens last week is now thrown out of the window. They love Solo, man. This dude is involved in every single feud and segment. Legitimately. You know how I rate things, man. Yay, nay, somewhere in the middle, okay. Nah, it's a nay episode. Shout out to Trick Williams, but that was the only real bright spot I could find in this show. What is our champion doing? There's no possible way that we're going down a path in which only Gunther or Cody Rhodes can legitimately be our champion. I think you're starting to put yourself in a hole too. Because if Gunther's going to be the career killer, if you're going to brand him like that, you can't just have him going into matches and losing to anybody, right? That doesn't make any sense. Additionally, if he's going to be the career killer, I think that there should be important things that happen in his storylines. Like maybe he's a little bit more ruthless or something like that. Why is he begging Cody Rhodes to say please? Why was this dude begging for an opportunity to get a championship, and he's asking Cody, like, to the point where he doesn't even want to take the championship opportunity that was been afforded to him? Why was the stipulation that he had to sign the contract? And not only did he have to sign it, Cody Rhodes had to make him sign it. Brother, this is what you've been wanting. You should have been first in line. It should have been already nice. Ink couldn't even have dried on that paper before it was handed to Cody Rhodes. It's like, this stuff is just it's dragged out for no reason. Like, whatever, man. But yeah, it's nay. Nay, man.